Senior Outstanding Achievement Award. I would like to also call upon Professor Emeritus Bob Dresnak to introduce Chris and present the award.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I got a call about 2 weeks ago, and I was asked to come back. I retired in January, and one of the reasons I was asked is they wanted a professor who was older than the individual we are going to honor today, and I mean that in a very warm way. My first experience with Chris was 2 years ago. I was teaching water resources engineering at night, and about 5 minutes after the class began, there was a knock on the door, and Chris put his head through the door there and said, "Is this water resources engineering?" I said, "Yes, it is." And he says, "I'm in your class." And I said to myself, good. So he came in. I was a little surprised. And he came into the place. And actually, with night classes, generally when the course is over, you go back to the garage. So we really got to know each other pretty well. And I got to really enjoy talking to him quite a bit. And I guess it was somewhat mutual, because at the end of the semester, he says, "I really want to tell you something." He says, "I really, really enjoyed your course." And I said, "How so?" He said, "Because in my entire career at NJIT, you're the only professor that I've had that's older than I am." So we have a mutual bond. This is my buddy. I made sure, and I'm sure he knew, that after he got out of my class, that there was no way that if he needed any support that we were going to be together. A little background on Chris. He first got a associate degree in, he started 1962. 1962, ladies and gentlemen. He got an associate's degree from a college in Maryland. To put it in perspective, John F. Kennedy was the president at that time. And again, I can say this, and I know Chris understands where I'm coming from, because we're both of a vintage that we can appreciate the fact that we've been there and done that. Chris is unusual compared to most of our undergraduates here who are graduating today, in that most of us in the past, we would work to get a degree, then we would work for a lifetime, and then we would retire based on the fruits of our labor. Chris did it a little bit differently. He worked for a lifetime, he retired, and then he got his degree. And I noticed on his resume recently that he said after he's done, he's going to be looking for part-time work, and the salary is negotiable. I loved it. I would strongly suggest, as a former negotiator here from our Professional Staff Association, that you will negotiate strongly as you richly deserve. One last piece. I happened to be in Costco the other day with my wife. Now that I'm retired, I spend more time in Costco. And as we were filling our carts up with 30 pounds of mayonnaise, if you know what I mean, if you've ever been there, we stopped at the checkout area, and the checkout person was talking to a co-worker who puts the stuff in your cart, and she was bemoaning the fact that while she likes this job, she felt that she wished that she had the capability to go back to school and do some other stuff. And I said, and she said, "But I'm in my early 50s. Whereupon, already you've had an impression upon society as a whole." And then I turned to her and said, "Well, let me tell you a story about a gentleman who's retiring from our school. He's taught me that there's never an end to learning. And let me also tell you that when he completed his second associate degree at County of Morris, and then just completed his degree here at NJIT, this gentleman was doing it while he was working full-time for people 50 years his junior. It is very difficult in the engineering discipline to be able to work full-time and get through this program. So I have tremendous admiration for this gentleman, and it's really an honor and a privilege to award you this award.
thank you very much for the nice award presentation. I'd like to thank the department for giving me this award. It's, I started this check 14 years ago. I gotta go back to school, see what happens. Can I make it? All right. If I don't make it, makes not that much difference, but it did make a difference. I started back and I got really involved in my courses. And I kept going and going, and it's like energizing rabbit. I kept going and never stopped. And now I reached my goal. And this just adds to my final goal. And I'd like to thank the department, all the professors in our department. You really bring a lot of great knowledge into our classroom. I'd like to thank the front office staff, my advisor, Tom Jaworski, the ladies in the front desk, and one special lady I'd like to thank is Heidi Young. Heidi Young was the first person I met when I came into the department. She got me going in my classes, and she was like a guiding light for me. She kept, anytime I had a question, anytime I needed some help with something, she was there for me, and I appreciate it very much. She's a great value to our department. Another group, I'd like to thank my family for making the trip back up here. Some of from California made it here. Another third group, but not most important, are the students. I'd like to thank you for letting me be your classmate. It's been a joy to be with you people. You taught me so much about the youth today. I learned a lot. I learned as much as I learned from some of from all the professors. You taught me the modern ways of doing things and everything. And I appreciate all the help that you've given me in the past 8 years that I've been here at NJIT. So on ending, I'd like to thank the whole department again for this wonderful award. Thank you very much.